My name is Jamie and I'm the Deseret Gardener. I garden here in Buckeye, Arizona. And today I'm actually going to show you what I have planned for my spring garden. I'm learning how to do this long form thing, but I think what I'll do is I'll start by bed. I wish I could give you an aerial view of my beds. I have beds 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and vertical bed 1 and 2. That's how I label them in my head. We'll start with bed number 1. Now bed number 1 is in the corner, sorry, it's in the northwest corner. That's where I put some of my tomatoes because that's where I have the cattle panel trellis for my indeterminates to grow up. And it does get afternoon shade because of that wall. The tomatoes really appreciate the afternoon shade. I plan everything in a grid notebook. I sort of do square foot gardening. It just gives me like an idea. So my beds are 1 foot tall and they are 6 foot by 3 foot. They're made out of cedar fence posts from Lowe's. It is like the cheapest thing that you could make. I'll show you what bed 1 looks like so you can have a visual. This is north. Never eat soggy waffles. So as you can see, the sun sets behind this wall and it shades it out gradually coming this way. So I will put my tomatoes along here and it'll go up to about there. I do not overwinter my tomatoes because I have limited space. I'm in an HOA in a backyard. So I kind of continually rotating crops. So I took out my tomatoes maybe like in August. I replaced them. So these are my sweet peas. I planned it so that hopefully I get a good harvest off of these sweet peas before I put my tomatoes out here in February or March. I have it all written down what's going in bed 1. And since I said it's 6 feet, but the cattle panel trellis is only 4 feet, I usually do 2 tomatoes that grow up the cattle panel trellis, but this year I'm going to try and squeeze in 3. We'll see how it goes. I do get a very decent production off of my 4 tomato plants in total because I'll do 2 on one side of my cattle panel and 2 on the other. And I do get a decent harvest. And that's what I want. The goal of my garden is more about quality over quantity. However, I still do want a decent quantity for the space that I have. I don't want to have like unrealistic goals, but I still want to like challenge myself every year to be able to produce more and more and more with the same amount of space. Maybe the tomatoes just won't be as big, or I don't know, I won't get as many, but we'll see how it goes. The first tomato I'm doing is the Ananas Noir. I've never grown it before. It is new to me. I just thought it was interesting looking, and I really liked the colors. The seed packet isn't all that interesting. It's in a Ziploc baggie because I got them in a trade, I think. So I don't really have a seed packet to show for that one, but I'll put a picture so you know what it looks like. And I'm also doing Cherokee Purple. This is what I'm doing. Everyone seems to love the flavor of this. And I've never grown it. So I said, you know what? That's something that I feel like I need to check off my list. Like, yep, I've grown a Cherokee Purple. And third, I'm doing a mushroom basket on that side, which I've never grown before. It seems to be a favorite of those that have grown it. Again, the seed packet is in a Ziploc baggie. I don't have a fun picture, but I'll find one right here. In between the tomatoes, I do put marigolds. So I will prune all the leaves off my tomatoes up until the first set of flowers. And then the marigolds will kind of fill in there. And I feel like, A, it's pretty. B, I feel like it does help pests. Maybe I'm wrong, or maybe I'm just lucky. Last year I grew the French double dwarf, which was beautiful. Very abundant, very prolific. But this year I want to try something a little bit different because why not? This is the one I want to try this year. What's this, Queen Sophia? Oops. Yes, Queen Sophia. I just thought those looked so pretty. I also have a ranunculus that's tucked back there in the corner. That's going to be there for a while. But I also plan on tucking in Mexican tarragon, which is a Mexican tarragon. I already started that indoors. On the north side of that bed, I am putting some squash, and it looks like I want to put the green scallop squash in there. It says it will produce prolific amounts of green summer squash shaped like miniature UFOs. Fun, right? And it looks like I'm just going to tuck in like mini celosias. So I'm going to try plume celosia this year, this one. Thought it was cute. No, I am putting it in the northwest bed. However, my celosia last year did super well in more sun. So you know what? Now that I think about it, I might actually switch those up because I had one celosia closer to the wall and another celosia that was out more east. So obviously it got more sun. It produced way better than the one that got afternoon shade, which surprising actually. So bed number 2 is south of bed number 1. So I'll show you bed number 2. Here's bed number 1. Directly south is bed number 2, and that's where I have all my garlic and onions right now. So this is pretty much out of commish until probably May. What I've done in the past when I grow onions, I don't grow onions every year, but in the past what I've done is I will remove some of these onions near the trellis and use them as spring onions and have my tomatoes start to grow up the trellis while the other onions bulb up. And the 3 that I chose for that one is Crimson Carmelo. Says it's delicious. I like delicious. That one's new to me. This one's also new to me, the Arkansas Traveler. This one is heirloom, so I could save seed as long as I isolate the flower. But This one I was drawn to because it said it was resistant to cracking, heat, humidity, and drought. Now we don't have the humidity, but we do have the heat and the drought. This one is not new to me. This is a green giant. This one, I love this one. I haven't grown this one in 2 years, so it's been a while. So I thought, you know what? I'm gonna bring back something delicious. This was fantastic. They are very, very big, so they're not as productive as maybe some of the other tomatoes, but I'm going to make space for it this year because it was that good. The rest of the bed is going to just be garlic and onions until I pull that up. And that's something for future me to worry about in the summer. Directly south of bed 2 is bed 3. I think this one gets a little tiny bit more sun than the back two. I'm going to focus on peppers and eggplants in this one. Here, I did eggplants in here last year. They did fantastic in this bed. I'm looking at my handy dandy plan for bed 3, and it looks like, sorry, I don't have any eggplants in that one. It's peppers. So I'm doing 3 peppers in that bed. So that's roughly giving each pepper about 2 feet of space. And I'm kind of interplanting it with, it looks like sorrel and marigolds. It looks like I might squeeze in a squash. We'll see how that goes. I didn't show it. Maybe I could show it. But I do have my shade structure. So see these poles? That's what it is. They kind of double as trellises too. So I am going to replant my Puerto Rican black bean. It's still up right now. It looks like crap. Hold on. Let me just show you while I'm at it. Here's the Puerto Rican black bean, what it looks like right now. It is done. So I'll probably cut it at the base and replant. This thing was beautiful in its prime. It was just amazing. So it'll probably grow up here and over the shade structure, and we'll keep going. Here was a yard-long bean. Like I said, struggling in the winter. I will put another yard-long bean here as well. Both the yard-long beans and the Puerto Rican black bean have been wildly successful for me here in the warm weather. So that's something that I'm going to continue to plant, I think, every year. Both the yard-long bean and the Puerto Rican black bean are saved seed, so I don't have a cool packet to show you. And even the original packet, I think the Puerto Rican black bean I got off Etsy, so it was in a little baggie. But the yard-long bean I did get at Lowe's, so I'll show you the original seed for that one. Oh, actually, I might have used it all. Let me see if I have it. I have like one. This is the one that I used from Lowe's. It did very, very well. The beans were actually really good, and I like them because it's more food, like per bean. So it's nice to get more produce from your plant. So anyways, the peppers that I'm going to grow in the bed 3 it's the Biquino pepper, Escamillo pepper, and Jimmy Nardello's, all 3 of which are new to me. I have not grown these 3 varieties. The thing about peppers is, I'll be honest with you, every time I grow a pepper, it's mediocre at best. I'm not good at peppers. I have yet to really perfect the peppers, but I will get there. I'm trying. I have one overwintering over there, and it doesn't look good. Okay, and it's not the weather. It's me. It's been unseasonably warm. It should be doing perfectly fine. There's a beautiful butterfly right there. Hold on, see if I can take a quick video. Sad, he flew away. Anyway, so all these are new to me, and every year I'm like, I'm going to do better. But for real though, I am going to do better on these peppers this year. I think they're not my favorite crops, so I feel like they just kind of get left behind a little bit. But anyways, here's Jimmy Nardello. I already started these inside. I actually had a 100% germination rate with these, which was amazing. I'm also growing Escamillo from High Mowing, new to me. The germination was okay on this. Then I have the Biquinos. Biquinos I also had 100% germination on, and these are 2 years old. It looks like I'm going to tuck it in with some sorrel. It's like an herb. Kind of tastes like, it's tangy, lemony. It's really good, and it's really good fresh. I didn't make a soup with it the last time I grew it. The last time I grew it was like 2 or 3 years ago. So I'm bringing it back. We're bringing back the sorrel. I'm going to tuck in some marigolds again, but instead of the Queen Sophia, I'm going to tuck in the Petite Yellow. Petite Yellow is definitely more compact. It's super, super compact. Like, it literally looks like this picture. It's like all blooms with like dark green foliage. Really pretty. Doesn't sprawl as much as the French double door. So I'm going to tuck these in between actually the squash plants that I'm growing back there, which will be, I'm growing 3 different types: Romanesco, Early Prolific, and Sure Thing. The Early Prolific is just a yellow straight neck. Sure Thing I've grown many, many times. It is a tried and true. Does great, tastes good, really reliable. And then this one's new to me. This one is the Romanesco Zucchini. It's fancy. It says creamy, sweet, tender, plump. Next up is what I call vertical beds 1 and 2. And it is south of bed 3. And the reason it didn't continue numerically is because my original 5 was 1, 2, 3. 4 is right behind me. 4 is south of that. But then I added 2 more beds, and instead of renaming them, I just named them vertical bed 1 and 2. So I'll show you what they look like. They look like crap. So there's bed 3 where the peppers are going to go, and directly south is vertical bed 1, vertical bed 2. These are mostly shaded out. It is going to get a tiny bit of sun right now. I did not plant anything in here for the winter and the fall. This was a cover crop of black-eyed peas. Those died back, and a volunteer loofah that found its way to that trellis. Also another Puerto Rican black bean that didn't do as well as the other one because this one didn't get as much sun. Cotton is left over from June. I just haven't cleaned up. You know, I'm due for major cleanup. It's got a couple of bowls on it, but I harvested most of it. And then on vertical bed 2, currently I have carrots. I planted these back in October. They're growing very, very slowly because, like I said, it is mostly shaded out. These are not going to take off until the sun gets more into its spring position and it'll get more sun. Then they'll take off. So I'm just going to harvest way later than the packet says because it's taken forever. Vertical bed 1, that's the one that has nothing in it right now but what's left over from the summer. I was going to do just like a full bed of flowers, but I think I'm going to turn that bed into an asparagus bed. And I started seeds maybe 2 weeks ago. I got bit by the bug. I was influenced by everyone that has an asparagus patch out here. I think I am going to commit that bed to asparagus. And I think that would be a good spot, even though it does get a little bit of shade in the winter. I think it will be okay because they go dormant before the spring and the sun will move. So I think that's like a good space for it because it does get a lot of sun in the spring, summer, and the fall. Vertical bed 2 is where I'm putting my eggplant. I'm doing 2 eggplant, the Roxanne eggplant. It's new to me. Usually I grow Black Beauty. Last year I grew Rosa Bianca. This year we're doing this one just to switch it up. I feel like eggplant is eggplant. I'm indifferent to it. It's good. I like a good eggplant parmesan, but I do like it. We do eat it, but I'm not like loyal to a certain eggplant because I haven't had one that like blew my socks off, if that makes any sense at all. The Roxanne. So this one, it says a delicious Italian specialty. Love that. 5 to 6 inch, beautiful, glossy, rich purple fruits streaked in white. So I thought that was cool. Kind of stripy. I'm not sure. It's a painting, but that's kind of what I'm hoping in my head. Around it, I am going to be planting bush beans. The jade beans. I've never grown them. Heard they're good. Again, I got FOMO, so we're going to try it. That's it. This is consistently long, straight, stringless pods, tender and sweet, beautiful dark green color. Love that. I haven't grown in a couple years as well. It's not new to me, but I haven't grown in a couple years, so we're bringing it back this year. The Midori Giants. So that's it for vertical bed 1 and 2. Now we're going to bed 4, which is right behind me. This bed gets a lot of sun, a lot. Like the sun rises over here, goes over, it doesn't get any shade whatsoever, besides my shade cloth that I'll put up. Last year I did sugar babies on the trellis. They were very prolific. I got a decent amount of sugar babies off that. So I'm going to do it again, not sugar babies. I am going to grow watermelon on that trellis. But this year I'm doing lemon drop. I actually tried growing it many, many times, but I didn't buy the seed. I got it at a seed swap back in 2022 and none of them germinated. So I never got a chance to try it. So I don't know if maybe the seeds were harvested too like immaturely. But they never came up. And I tried all of them. I bought some. It says 1 to 2 pound fruits. So I assume they're not that big. Oh yeah, look it's in someone's hand in the picture. Pocket size, vigorous growing habit, like that. Vine blossoms and provides 1 to 2 pound fruit with flavor that is unparalleled, candy sweet, and crisp textured. That sounds amazing. So that instead of sugar babies, we're going to go in with lemon drop. We're going to go with 3 instead of 2 this year. We'll see how it goes. 3 lemon drop plants. I'm doing 1 determinate tomato, which is the celebrity tomato. I don't have a fun seed packet to show you. I grew those 4 years ago. Been thinking about them since. I just don't grow a lot of determinate varieties because I just don't. I'm doing a celebrity tomato and a baby bell pepper. Also new to me, as basic as a crop as that is, I've never grown snacking peppers, just like basic snacking peppers, which, you know, sometimes it's good to grow the basics and the kids will definitely eat them. This is the one I went with. And then it looks like I'm also tucking it in with amaranth and marigolds and Peruviana zinnias, which were beautiful. Not new to me. Let me show you these. Oh my gosh, they were beautiful. I loved them. I loved them so much. So yeah, we're doing this again. I did them last year and I'm doing them again. I am interplanting the Peruviana zinnias with Cinco de Mayo amaranth. We'll see how this goes. In my head, it sounds cool. I don't know if it's going to work out as cool as it does in my head, but look at this. It's a painting, so it's a lot left to the imagination. I haven't Googled it. I was like, ooh, that looks interesting. I think with the flowers, they're about the same height, 3 feet. I think this is going to be cool. I'm going to also mix it in with that Blaze Celosia as well that I showed you earlier, because that one is a smaller Celosia, I believe. I think this was like 18 inches. I don't remember. Let me see. Yes, 18 inches, this one. And last but not least, bed 5. Okay, last as far as my garden beds go. I have plans for the rest of my yard as well. Here is bed 5. It's got some nasturtiums and chive and some random brassicas that I don't remember. Florida weave situation back here that I didn't take down from my tomatillos last year. So that's what it looks like. This also gets a ton of sun, a lot of sun. So just visually so you could see it. So see, bed 1, bed 2 with the alums, 3, vertical bed 1, 2, bed 4, bed 5. I'm doing Tiger melons on the cattle panel trellis. Tiger melon's new to me. I did honeydew melon last year. It was great. That's a basic melon variety. So this year I wanted to switch it up, do something a little bit different. I am leaning towards the smaller melons just for more productivity. Vine produces up to 20 melons, no more than a pound in size, having a flavor of banana, lemon, and cantaloupe. Very fun, easy to grow. So I was like, that's interesting. So I'm gonna go 3 of those. So if it does what it says it's gonna do, 20 melons per plant, I'll have to count. That's like 60 melons at most, but we'll see how it goes. And I'm going to fill the rest of the beds with bush beans because bush beans, in my experience, do really, really well in the spring. So I will do a whole bunch of bush beans, and then after I take the bush beans in one go, I will plant something more heat tolerant in that bed. I'm trying to remember what I did there last year. I can't remember. I'll have to look. But that's just for the spring. So summer gets a new crop after I harvest the bush beans. And on the Florida weave situation, I'm going to do sun gold tomatoes. Maybe I'll put a cucamelon there. Is it a cucamelon or a cucamelon? Anyways, 100% germination on these as well in a week, which I thought was really great. And then in my in-ground bed, that's where I have a flower patch right now. It's 6 foot by 6 foot. I'm going to do 3 sisters, which would be corn, squash, beans. For the corn, I think I was just going to do, I couldn't decide. I have a lot of early sun glow, so I might just do that to, free up my seed. Early, tender, 7-inch ears. It says withstands cool weather. I'm not sure on the corn variety yet. It's up in the air. Originally I was thinking this candy corn one, but I don't have a lot of seed. I think I need more than I think there's 20 in here. 20. I need more than 20. I didn't realize when I bought it. Yeah, I wanted to do more, and I don't want to interplant them because I don't want them to cross pollinate. Oh, I have a ton of this. I just got this at the American Seed Up in November. Bantam 8. I feel like that's not a fun variety, but I have a lot of it. So maybe I'll just do that. And then the squash, I was going to do a guicoy squash, which was very exciting to me because my family is from Guatemala, and this is a Guatemalan variety. Super ancient squash depicted in late classic Maya pottery and still popular in Guatemala today. Harvested as a young zucchini or allowed to mature for a winter squash, versatile and delicious from antiquity with buttery texture. So it's very exciting because this is very common in Guatemala, and I know my family eats it. My daughter went to go visit, and she was like, this is good. We should grow some. So I'm going to finally get around to growing that. I also am taking advantage of my grow bag situation. I am going to put a couple more tomatoes in there. I don't know which ones yet. I think I want to do pineapple tomato and maybe an extra tomato that I have extra plants of because I did overseed. I am growing popolo this year in a grow bucket, a 5-gallon bucket. I'll show you. It says it's supposed to have like a cilantro-y flavor, and it can replace cilantro in the summer and when it's hot outside, when cilantro just doesn't want to grow. I got it off Etsy. As I was Googling it and watching a bunch of YouTube, it said that they do really well in warm weather. So I am going to put this in a grow bag and see how comparative it is to cilantro. I am also growing a couple other celosia varieties in my other 5-gallon buckets. It looks like I am doing a zinnia in a grow bucket, an aurora zinnia. And I'm also doing, I don't know if it's Cajo or Cajo watermelon, which is also a small sized watermelon. Salmon orange fleshed, elongated fruit, 2 to 4 pounds. Great flavor. Smaller one. Well, I know you're wondering. Okay, you're probably not wondering, but I'm excited to share. I am only growing personal sized watermelons in my raised beds because I'm going to take the rest of my yard, which if you've been following me on Instagram and TikTok, you know the rest of my yard is just rocks. Okay. I am going to try and utilize my space to grow in-ground watermelons. And I'm very, 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 very excited about it. And I am building my microclimate on my west-facing wall with trees that can take a lot of sun. I just planted a fig tree like a month ago. I planted a mulberry tree back in May, 2 citrus trees, a sapote, a white sapote, and a grapefruit. Anyway, I'll tell you what kind of watermelons I got planned. I wanted to do Jubilee, which I did last year. It was so good. Doing it again. I actually saved seed for this, so I actually might use the save seed instead of the seed packet, but we'll see. Orange Glow, new to me. Black Diamond, which that, to be honest with you, that is the only watermelon I will purchase from the store because I have not bought one of these and they've been bad, unlike other watermelons. But oh my gosh, look at that. Oh my. Anyways, I'm going to try this because I know what this tastes like. So I'm curious to see if I can grow it and have it taste the same at the very minimum or better. Art Combi Ancient, which is this one. I'm really, really excited about this one. And the story on this is actually really cool. I'll have to do a completely different video on this watermelon. Those are what's going in the ground. That is my garden plan for the 2026 spring season, and I am thrilled. Thanks for joining me on my 2026 garden plan. What are you guys growing this year?